Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Yvonne to Step by Step Farming. Hey, I want to go ahead and continue this last part 3 series of the 9 baby steps on what you need to do before you start your garden. In part 1, we talked about why do you want to start a garden, finding your planting zone, and deciding what you want to plant and how much. In part 2, we talked about finding out your last and your first frost date, when you want to start planting, and what type of seeds to buy. Back in part 3, we're going to talk about the seeds versus getting your starter plants, where you should put your garden, and also the type of garden that you need to have. I wrote everything on paper so that I wouldn't forget to give you all some really good information so that I could also stay on track. Step 7, seeds versus your starter plants. If you're feeling a little bit nervous about starting your seeds, or you've never done it before, there is another alternative. You can buy starter plants, and those are basically plants that a professional commercial nursery has already grown. So basically all the hard work is done for you. You'll see these in front of Walmart, your grocery store, your hardware stores, your home improvement stores. And all you have to do is just basically buy those, pop them in the ground, and then it'll be up to you to take care of them, okay? So like, for example, for me this year, I'm going to also be using some starter plants, but you can combine seeds and starter plants together. So if you're a little late on some plants, buy those starter plants, and the things that you can plant for seeds, go ahead and plant for seeds, okay? And step 8, the location of your garden is important. Where are you going to put this? So just remember that when you start a garden, you have to have at least 6 to 8 hours of full sun. So let me give you a tip. Go outside around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Look outside and see where the sun is hitting. That's where you want to put your plant. If you're growing things that have partial shade, you'll know where to put them. If you have things that are, or if you need partial and full sun, going outside is seeing where the sun is, where it's hitting your area, that would tell you exactly where you need to plant your garden. So I made the mistake a long time ago. I planted tomatoes in like partial sun, and it did not grow. It didn't do too well. They need to have full sun, okay? So in step 9, there's different types of gardens out there. There's so many different types of gardens, but today I'm going to only cover 5. Now, before I tell you what the 5 are, let me just say, whatever you decide to do as far as your gardening, the type of gardening, it has to fit your lifestyle and whatever your needs are, okay? You can combine some of the two if you want, but just do whatever is going to work best for you. All right, so the ones that I'm going to cover is, number 1, conventional gardening. This is just your basic tearing up your yard, tilling the ground. You will have to have a tiller, so think about that. If you don't have one, you can maybe rent one from a hardware store. Sometimes they will do that. But basically, you will need to till your ground 8 to 10 inches down, okay? And it has to be a very loose and soft. It has to be loose and soft, all right? So that is the conventional gardening. The second one is square foot gardening. So that is basically a raised bed that is broken down into 12-inch by 12-inch grids inside of the raised bed. So let's say you have a 3-foot by 3-foot raised bed, and you're going to grid it out into 12 inches. So you're going to have 9 sections. And in each of those 9 sections, you can plant whatever different plants you want to. And that's it's very popular because you can actually grow more things in a smaller area. I've done that before, and I like it a lot if it works for you. So you can try that as well. With that though, you do not have to tear your yard up, but you will have to add on top of your ground more soil. So you will have to build that up, okay? Also, you have the no-till garden, or as some people would call just a raised bed. And a raised bed is basically what I just mentioned above. It's raised above the ground. You have to add dirt into it on top of it. And for the raised bed, the difference between that and a square foot gardening is that for the raised bed, you may only want to have that for cucumbers only. You know, you may want to have that for squash only. So that's going to be the difference between the two. It's really not that much of a difference. It's just one, you're breaking it up into square grids, and the other one, you're not. All right, number 4 is container gardening, which is exactly what it is. You want to plant your garden, or you want to put your plants into containers. You can get, whatever containers you have, be creative. Whatever you have, you don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money. You can use buckets. I have a really old video where I was growing tomatoes in buckets. You can use, like I said, whatever you might have on hand. Just remember though, whatever container you decide to use, it must have drainage in the bottom. If it does not, the water will remain inside of the container, your roots will rot, and your plant will not grow. All right. Now, the benefits of the container garden, let me say this, is that if you live in a small space, if you live in an apartment, if you have a balcony, if you just don't want to tear up your yard, you can do containers. They're also movable, which is very nice. For example, if you have something that is full sun, you could put in the sun, then you can move it. So it is mobile. So that is also a benefit to that as well. Now for that, again, it is a benefit because you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of equipment, a bunch of tools. All you really need to have is a bucket and some dirt. Okay, and then the last thing, number 5, is growing your garden indoors. There's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can grow your garden under grow lights. If you're wanting to use, like using dirt, obviously, you can use them, do it under grow lights to grow them. That's possible. If you could do a hydroponics or aeroponics, and the difference really quick between that is a hydroponics is the roots of the vegetables are submerged underwater, and the aeroponics is more of a mist on the roots that's on a timer. And so, for example, I have a tower garden by Juice Plus, and that is an indoor vertical gardening system. It takes up 3 feet of space, so it's very convenient to tuck away in the corner or somewhere like that. Now, I really love the tower garden personally because you can grow year round. Like I was growing lettuce in the wintertime, and it's very convenient. It doesn't use any dirt, so it's good for those of you who don't want to go outside, who don't want to deal with the weather, the bugs, getting dirt under your nails. It's also really good for those who are elderly, those who may have disabilities, those who may have a really busy schedule where you just cannot go out and just do all that work outside. So those are just some very short options. If you all are interested, I will put a link in the description about the tower garden so you could check it out yourself and just get an idea of what I'm talking about. But whatever it is that you decide, just make sure, like I said before, that it does fit your lifestyle, it fits your schedule, it fits your needs, that it's not gardening, it's not a one size fits all, it's not going to be the same for everyone. But whatever you do, the main thing is do not procrastinate. Just get started as soon as possible. Okay, before we know it, it's going to be fall all over again. So let's just get started. If you guys don't mind, please put in the comments below yes, so that I will know that you all are on board. You're going to start your garden. I really want to hear how things are going with you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to encourage you. So let's do this. You got this. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.